It is way past Christmas 2023, but stay tuned to find out what I got during that time. Hey YouTube, it's Mandak coming at you guys with another haul video. So welcome into haul video number 153, guys. So as you can probably see, my haul videos are starting to spread out a little bit more. And as you guys can probably guess just from what I've talked about these last couple weeks, it's due in large part due to my changes in spending, which I'll kind of explain a little bit more about that in this intro here. But yeah, anyways, Happy New Year to you guys. Hope you guys are having a great day, great week, and obviously a great 2024. Hope everyone had a really great holiday season, whatever you celebrate. But yeah, this haul is kind of overdue. I was waiting on a couple books that I ordered way back in like December to get here. It took almost like 2-3 weeks for me to get my books. But that was kind of the last little chunk I was waiting on. But yeah, this haul is pretty much like all of like Christmas time gifts either given to me or stuff that I purchased around that time. And I do apologize if you can hear like wind in the background. It's actually like super windy right now. So we just recently had like snow squalls, so that's something there. But yeah, anyways, I guess just to comment a little bit about, the Christmas season. It was really fun. Got to spend it with a lot of family and friends and stuff like that. We hung out with my family the first couple of days of Christmas vacation. So around like, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then we had a couple of days to ourselves where we went shopping and stuff like that. And then towards the end of the week, we went up and saw Monica's side of the family. So we went to New York, spent a couple of days with them. I did purchase some stuff when I was up there too. But nothing too crazy. As you guys, like I said before, and I alluded to, my spending has definitely gone down, and it will continue to go down probably this year. And that's a couple of reasons. Obviously, I have Marvel Unlimited now, so I don't really... I do have some Marvel, like one Marvel book to show here, but it's because I want it for my collection. So, but overall, my spending for Marvel stuff will be going down a lot, and just comics in general, because Marvel is like the most prevalent publisher in my collection here. But yeah, it's for that reason, but also it's because this year officially is the year that Monica and I are getting married. So because of that, there's more of a crunch now to save money wherever we can and to use it to put it towards the wedding. And I guess what's nice about our situation is that we did plan it far enough in advance, so that way we've already started to do some of that, and we've already made some payments towards our stuff, so it's not too heavy of a financial burden for us, I guess. But with that being said, though, we still want to be conscious of what we're spending on, and obviously Lego and comics aren't the priority right now, which means, again, that doesn't mean that I won't be buying stuff. Like, I'll still be picking up some things if they're on sale, or if I have coupons or gift cards for stuff, which I do still have some from Christmas that I still haven't used yet. So there's that, but just, if you see that reflected on the content of this channel, that's probably the case, right? So I definitely won't be having as many haul videos this year, which again is fine, right? But yeah, so that's that. But otherwise, let's go ahead and get into the sections of this video here, starting as always with the comics. Alright guys, welcome into the comic book section here for haul video 153. So yeah, this is a pretty, I would say a pretty decent stack. Definitely a lot of different things that I got this time. I will say, I'll go over what I've been reading so far. So I believe last time I was talking about an Infamous Iron Man. I did finish that. That was really good. yeah, really nice gap of knowledge there. Although I think I did mention this in my last book, or my last video. I probably should have went back and read like Ironheart first before I read Infamous Iron Man, because there's a lot of stuff that ties in there. But that's exactly what I did. So I did go back and read all the Ironheart stuff. Really enjoyed that. You know, that's my first like introduction, I guess, to Ironheart, Riri Williams as a character, like in her own solo story. So I thought the writing overall was pretty good. Nothing too crazy. I did read the Invincible Iron Man stuff that preceded the Search for Tony Stark, and then I did read her own solo series that came out afterwards. Both of them were pretty good. If I had to pick one that I would prefer, I definitely prefer the solo stuff. I just feel like she has more room to breathe. Although the Iron Man stuff is pretty important though, because it kind of establishes her background. You know, her backstory with her friend Natalie, who is killed from gun violence, and her stepfather, who's also killed from gun violence in Chicago. So I feel like that's important to learn, because they do reference it a little bit in the next series. So, but overall, really like the character, and I'm you know, obviously excited to see her in more stuff, and looking forward to the Disney Plus show whenever that comes out. So there's that. I also did read Vigilante. I don't know if I said that in my last video or not, but I did finish that. That's Marv Wolfman stuff, basically DC's Punisher. So I enjoyed that. It actually moved pretty well, and the storyline was pretty compelling, very like mob and like organized crime based. So if you're into that stuff, like Punisher, Daredevil, things like that, it's a little bit more campy compared to that, but I think it's still kind of a interesting take. And now that I talk about this, I think I did already mention this in my last video, so you can disregard that. So, but yeah, so after I read all that stuff, I will say during the week of Christmas itself, I didn't really do a lot of reading, just because I'm with family, and as you know, people say, you know, just trying to be present in the moment with my family and friends, stuff like that. I didn't really want to be reading in front of people. I feel like that's, you know, it's kind of like a solo activity, if that makes sense, right? So yeah, I didn't do a lot of reading, but I did crack open and start some of the Captain America epics. So I did read Captain America Lives Again, which collects the Tales of Suspense stories featuring Captain America. So he jumps onto the book, I think, around like the 50s, or like the Tales of Suspense number 50 or something like that. Really enjoyed those. I you know, they were a little bit of a slog to get through. You know, it's still like early 60s art and writing, so a lot of narration, a lot of explanation on certain things. But it definitely picked up steam as we got towards like the tail end of Tales of Suspense and into his own solo series. It's really interesting, and I won't spend too much time on this, but it's really interesting to see like the parallels between like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's runs when it comes to like Captain America versus Thor versus Fantastic Four. Like, they're all very different, but there's a lot of similar things that go on, and it's crazy because like there was a point in my Thor readathon where Jack Kirby was basically creating like these giant, really dynamic panels on like these issues, basically like 4 a page, and Stan Lee was throwing in like some nice dialogue, but the action and the art took center stage in those books. And I just, those are, if I go back and think about like my favorite runs of Thor, it's probably like that late Jack Kirby, Stan Lee stuff, just because of how nice it flows, and it's just very dynamic. It's not bogged down by excessive narration or backstory or flashbacks. It's just very in the moment, and I just love that type of writing. And we do get that here, you know, as we get, because I did read the Coming of the Falcon epic collection as well, which is the material, it's the tail end of the Tales of Suspense stuff into his ongoing series, you know, so renumbering, well, not renumbering, but numbering at number 100 and so on. But yeah, that's even better. I mean, like, I really enjoyed that epic. I flew through that, which I wasn't expecting, because it's like a 1960s epic, so I was totally expecting to take a while to read that, but I read through that in less than a week. You know, obviously I was reading some other stuff too along the way, but Yeah, that one has some nice Jack Kirby stuff. Jim Steranko does a couple issues in that. And then we finish off with some Gene Colan stuff, which then trickles into the third epic that I have, which is Bucky Reborn, which I'm reading right now. And yeah, I mean, obviously I'm a big Gene Colan fan, going back to his Iron Man stuff and even some Doctor Strange stuff he did. I enjoyed that too. But yeah, it's really, really good. I'm honestly kind of blown away how good the Silver Age Captain America stuff is. I was going into it just thinking it was going to be pretty middle of the road, but it's actually pretty good. Now, granted, there are some things I don't like about it. Like, I wish there was more villains that Cap could fight besides Red Skull, and Batroc the Leaper, I guess. But, you know, I'm fine with that. But the whole reveal of Sharon Carter, I think, is cool. There's still some mystery behind there. You know, obviously, Sharon is a young woman in the 1960s, so they haven't really explained why she resembles this other woman that Cap knew back in the 1940s. So I think we're going to get some explanation there. I don't know if it's the same as the MCU. I guess maybe it is. I don't know. I'll find out. But it is cool to see Sharon Carter finally like revealed in a supporting character in this. You know, seeing the origins of Falcon and how, you know, he teams up with Cap to take down the Red Skull, obviously. You know, it's also interesting too, because like, I thought that Cap being involved with S.H.I.E.L.D. was like something that like the movies kind of more force-fed to us, or like it came through in later like runs of the character. But even in this early 60s stuff, like Cap is very much involved with S.H.I.E.L.D., Nick Fury, you know, obviously Agent Carter, or Sharon Carter is Agent 13, so she's a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. And there's this whole plot point between like Cap and her, of her trying to resign from S.H.I.E.L.D., you know, because Cap wants her to resign because he doesn't want her to risk her life for him and stuff like that. But then she's like, I need to do my own job, which you go, Sharon. But yeah, I mean, like, just by what I'm talking about with this, I'm just really enjoying the series. And if you can hunt down those epics or read them online, I would definitely recommend doing so. You're not gonna be disappointed. I mean, like I said, it's very, very dynamic and very page turning for a late 1960s book, which again, I'm really happy about. So there's my little spiel about that. And then lastly here, what I've continued to read on here. So, you know, as I read my Cap epics, I do want to sprinkle in some more modern stuff, just so I'm keeping my daily page count up every day, if that makes sense. I try to hit at least 6 issues a day. That's what I try to read every day. But yeah, the stuff I'm reading right now, the other series I'm reading along with my Cap stuff is Deadly Class by Rick Remender. So I'm currently on the 8th volume of that. So I'm pretty close to being done. I'm over the halfway point. Overall, I like the story. It is a little tricky sometimes to keep track of all the characters. You know, obviously you have Marcus, Maria, Saya, you know, Victor. Those are kind of like the main characters in the book, and you follow their story throughout the years of them being in the school. King's Dominion or something like that, I think is the name of the school. And obviously it's a school for assassins, so that's the basic premise of it. It's basically like X-Men but with assassins. I think I've talked about that before. That's the one sentence description that one of my friends gave to another one of my friends about the series, which is apt, I guess. But yeah, I'm really liking it. But again, you know, you really do have to pay attention to all the characters, because I think in volume 5 or 6, we do get introduced to like a whole new set of characters, and they're freshmen in the school. But yeah, overall, I'm really enjoying it. The art is super dynamic. I do apologize, I can't remember who the artist is right now, but yeah, it's very good, and I'm very excited to finish reading it. So like I said, I have 5 more volumes to read here, and then I'll finish up the series. And I do have collected in all trades, so that's kind of a little cumbersome a little bit to keep reading them and putting them back on the shelf. But anyways, 10-minute diatribe aside, I'll go ahead and jump into this. And I guess since we have this section here, I'll also show one non-comic book related thing here at the end that I got for Christmas from my Secret Santa, so I'll show that too. But anyways, getting into this haul at last. I'm sorry it took so long, but We'll go through this here. So the first couple stuff I picked up here was at Second and Charles. So I did go to Second and Charles the day after Christmas with my fiance. We made a day of it. We went up and got Jersey Mike's because I had a coupon for that, and then we went there for lunch. I actually traded in a bunch of books, so I took a bunch of stuff, a bunch of trades back with me. I got about $60 of credit, so for what it's worth, I thought that was good just to get them off my plate and, you know, clear out my collection, which again, I'm going to continue to do. So as I purchase things and put things in my collection, I'm going to be making some decisions on things I want to take out and, you know, sell back to Second and Charles or to friends, whatever. But yeah, I was able to shop around. I got my credit back, so I did pick up some stuff here at Second and Charles. The first two things I got here were volumes 8 and 9 of One Punch Man. So this is probably the next manga I'm going to be reading. The two mangas that I have started collecting are My Hero Academia and this. Both of them, I believe, are still ongoing, so you know, I'm going to be collecting these as I see deals on them, and these were some pretty insane deals for these. I got this volume 9 for $3 and this one for $6, and technically I didn't spend any money for these because I got the store credit, so I thought that was a pretty good deal. But yeah, pretty cool to get this. The Omnibus Collector is the one I probably have to thank for this, because I remember watching his videos back in the day and him talking about this series and how much he loved it. So that he's kind of the one who got me onto that series. So I'm really excited to read it. And obviously, after recently reading Attack on Titan, you know, I definitely do have more of a hankering and I guess a appetite for manga. I'm not like too invested in it yet. Like I do want to commit to finishing the series that I've started collecting and read those. But yeah, they're very easy to read and very easy to get through. So that's part of the reason why I like them too. So, all right, some other books I picked up here. Honestly, the time that I went to Second Charles, I didn't really see a lot of books from like DC or Marvel that I was willing to spend money on. Marvel especially, just because, like I said, I have Marvel Unlimited, so it's kind of like, unless it's something that I really, really want for my collection, like an Epic or an Omnibus or hardcover or something that I really like, of like a series that I've been looking for, I'm very tempted to not buy it just because I can probably just read it for free on the app. But I did pick up some stuff here from Image that, again, Image is a lot harder to find to read online, so picked up some of the stuff here. Got this one here, number 1 with a bullet. First off, I like the reference to wow. Why am I drawing a blank? Wow, why can't it's a song. I totally can't believe I can't believe I don't know what the name of the it's Fall Out Boy. That's what it is. Yeah. If my fiance watches this, she's gonna be mad at me. But yeah, it's that song, We're Going Down, an earlier round. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. It's a little bit of a reference there, but yeah, I don't really know too much about the story, although I do know that's an Eisner Award nominee, so it must be something good. And it says Hickman on the side. I don't know if that's Jonathan Hickman or not, but yeah, really excited to read this. Kind of interested in the art too. Kind of different style of art going on there. But yeah, this is just a standalone graphic novel, so we'll give this a read and we'll see what we'll find out here. Next one here is another one here that, again, I didn't know too much about, but it's a standalone graphic novel by Scotty Young called The Me You Love in the Dark. So got this for a decent price. I picked this up mostly because I think the art's pretty interesting. And I'll show something that isn't too graphic. I don't want to get banned. But yeah, kind of interesting art going on here. Looks like a little bit like watercolor or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, well, it's kind of like a little bit of a horror book kind of thing. So maybe I'll save this for my Halloween reading in October of this year. I do have a couple of spooky books that I plan on reading that around that time. You know, I have this, I have Ghosted that I'll probably be reading around that time. Maybe Lock and Key as well. I don't know. I'll certainly take some recommendations on some horror comics that are in my collection currently, or even recommendations you guys have. More than willing to listen to those. So, okay. So the next thing I got here was something that you might saw it already. I did pick up this when I went to New York with my fiance to see her family, and we go to this mall on Long Island called the Smith Haven Mall, and they have a Newbury Comics there, which I really enjoy. I wish there was some near me here in Pennsylvania. I don't think there is. I can look it up, but they run some pretty decent sales, and they have stuff usually on sale or clearance in terms of collected editions. So it's always worth taking a look. I would say back in July when Monica and I went up to Albany, there was one over in a mall near there, and that's where I got the Spectacular Spider-Man Omnibus and the Wonder Woman Absolute for like half off each or something, or more than that. So that was a pretty insane deal. But they were running some sales on some of these collected box sets of Pokemon manga. So obviously, you know, I'm into manga, and Pokemon manga was kind of like my gateway into reading manga for the first time. Obviously, it's a very more like streamlined like version of manga, so it's not as, you know, niche or traditional, I guess. It's more based off of the game, obviously. But I haven't keeping up with it. I'm all the way up through Ruby and Sapphire, so I think that's volumes 22, like 1 through 22. And I really enjoyed it. Like, I remember I brought a whole box set down with me one year to the beach, and I literally read through it all in 1 week. But this one here is the Pokemon Adventures Fire Red and Leaf Green and Emerald. So this is volumes 23 through 29 of the series. They did have the following set that came after this, which I think was Diamond and Pearl, or something else, I forget. I didn't really feel like buying both of them just because they were a lot of money. This right here was $55, but it was 15% off, so I think I got it for around like $46 or $48 or something like that, which, I mean, for 7 volumes of this, you know, that works out to about, you know, $6-7 a volume. So I thought that was a good deal, and I looked it up online too, and it's actually more online. So but this has, again, some recurring characters from the manga. So, you know, we have 3 volumes of Fire Red and Leaf Green, you know, kind of returning back to Kanto and exploring those characters of green, blue, and red. And then we jump back to Emerald, where we get, you know, some of the other characters from that series as well. Looks like we have a new character that joins the group. So I'll definitely be pushing this up to the top of my reading pile, just because I know I can get through this whole box set probably in less than a week. And I just really enjoy reading these. This is definitely a series that I plan to keep in my collection for the long haul, just because I feel like eventually I might want to sit down and just read through them all again. But that's a long ways from here, right? I got a lot of extra reading ahead of me, so not too much in a rush to do that. But anyways, getting into some of these last books here. These 2 books were books that I was waiting on from IST, and these are books that I made a purchase for. This is the only Marvel book that I purchased here, and probably the only one I've purchased in a long time, to be honest. But that is the Moon Knight Epic Collection Death Watch. This collects issues 39 through 51 of Moon Knight, Mark Spector Moon Knight, excuse me. It also collects Moon Knight Divided We Fall, Moon Knight Special Number 1, Web of Spider-Man 93 through 94, and material from Marvel Comics Presents 152 through 154. So, yeah, this is some nice early 90s Moon Knight stuff, and this is going to be a treat to read. You can see here some nice art going on. But yeah, I do have a lot of Moon Knight epics. I think I have every single one they've released up to this point. I have read the first 3, I believe. So I still have yet to read the fourth one here, which is Butcher's Moon. I think this is, yeah, that's the 4th epic. This is the 7th epic. So we still need volumes 5 and 6 here. They haven't been solicited or anything, but yeah, really, really hyped to get this. This was one that, again, I wanted to have. You know, I like going for epics for characters that I really enjoy, and shockingly enough, I actually really do like Moon Knight. You know, after reading all the stuff I did currently have at the time, you know, in anticipation for the Moon Knight series, like I still want to revisit that character, and I have heard talks that apparently there's a second Moon Knight season in the works at Disney, so hopefully that happens. But otherwise, really, really excited to get this. You can see here the back, and then just for anyone who's curious how thick this is like, it's tough because like these pages get cut off because of the 90s, how they printed them, but this is like close to 500 pages, so pretty thick paperback. So there's that. And then the last one here I got was one that I honestly didn't really have on my radar until I saw some of my friends pick it up, and then I was kind of curious about what the story was about, so I went online, looked it up, saw some people flipping through this, and decided to kind of jump on it just because, again, it's some 90s stuff, and it's kind of like a nice fresh start for a character that I don't really have too much collected for, and that is the Green Lantern Kyle Rayner Rising Compendium. So I believe this was collected in 3 smaller volumes before, but this is a nice thick paperback here. The retail price on this was $60, but I think I got it for around like $30 or something like that, which, again, comparison wise, looking at your value of money, like this is only $15 cheaper cover price for this. I mean, I think this is kind of skirting that value, I guess, a little bit, but going through here, I mean, this is just some beautiful art going on. You know, some really, really good stuff. I don't know who the artists are, but again, looks like some early 90s, maybe late 80s art, and I think I'm really going to enjoy this. So really, really hyped to get this. For anyone who's curious what this collects, this has Green Lantern Volume 3, number 0, number 48 through 65, Damage number 16, Dark Stars number 34, Guy Gardner Warrior numbers 27 through 28, The New Titans numbers 116 through 117, as well as 124 and 125, and Rebels 94 number 1. So yeah, if you're into Kyle Rayner as a character, I would definitely recommend getting this up, obviously, because this is kind of an introduction, I would assume, into the DC universe. But yeah, this is going to be a real treat to read. I love paperbacks like this, like kind of like not as big as a compendium, but a little bit bigger than an epic. I think it really reads well in the hand, if that makes sense. But yeah, really hyped to get this. And like I said, I don't have a lot of Green Lantern stuff in my collection. The only Green Lantern thing that I have is the Green Lantern Green Arrow like collection with Denny O'Neil stuff and Neil Adams art, I think, which I still haven't read yet, but I did bring it down with me to Stone Harbor last year, and I just didn't get to it in time. But I definitely do want to read that at some point. I'm a big fan of both those creators, so really hyped to see that. But yeah, anyways, that's my comic haul. Before I end it here, though, I do want to show one additional thing I picked up, or well, not picked up, but I got for Christmas. So again, as I mentioned before, we did do Secret Santa this year, so Monica and I kind of exchanged like smaller gifts with each other, you know, nothing too crazy. We did get each other gift cards to places that we want to go. Mine was Second and Charles, so I was able to use that, I guess, as well. So that's cool there. But one of the things I did ask for my Secret Santa was a video game emulator, a portable handheld one. And I was doing some research, and I kept seeing these ones on my TikTok page about, like, you know, these emulators that basically look like Game Boy Advances, and they basically have every Game Boy Advance, Game Boy, or I guess this looks more like a Game Boy Color or whatever. So I asked for it for Christmas, and sure enough, my Secret Santa, who was Chris, my younger sister's boyfriend, he got this for me, and I was really happy for it. So Chris, if you're watching this, thank you, appreciate it. But that emulator is the Ambernic RG35XX here. So I'm sorry if you can see the reflection, has a screen protector on it, but this thing is amazing. You know, again, looks like it basically holds, you know, looks like a Game Boy, like the original Game Boy here. But this has a crap ton, like every single possible Game Boy Advance game, Game Boy Color game. I think this even has up to PS1 games. I haven't tried them yet, but might be a little tricky with the D-pads. But yeah, this has everything I want on it. It has every single Pokemon game I want. I've been playing some Lego Star Wars Game Boy Advance games that came out, and I've just been enjoying this. You know, it's a nice little like nostalgic thing to go back in my childhood and just have this. And I definitely intend to bring this with me on like trips for work, like if I'm on an airplane and don't want to read for a little bit, if I want to just play some video games, I can easily just turn this on and play a couple games. And the only thing that kind of sucks about this is the battery, for some reason on mine, doesn't work really that well. So I have to plug it into like an external charger, which isn't a big deal. Like I have a external battery charger that I just plug it into. So it's not a nuisance at all for me. And I mean, that battery, I've been playing with this like since I got it for Christmas, and I've not had to recharge that battery. So this obviously isn't pulling a lot of power from it, which makes sense, right? I'm playing Game Boy Advance games, Game Boy Color games, like those games don't really demand a lot of power. So, but it's really nice to have all that in you know, in my bag here. So if I want to play that on an airplane or something, I easily can. So there's that. But yeah, 27 minutes later, I will close out this video, and or not the video, but this portion of the video. So let's go ahead and get into the Lego section here too. Okay guys, welcome into the Lego section here for haul video 153. So yeah, not a lot of Lego purchasing as well. But did pick up some stuff. So when I was at Walmart last week, I saw that the new Lego CMFs were out. Just the regular like annual CMFs. I think this is like the 25th series or whatever that's come out. But I picked up one and I got this guy. So like little Stegosaurus costume vibe. Thought that was kind of cool. So we'll put that with the collection of minifigures that I have. This one I got right here is series 24, so this is actually last year. And this is actually the last series of these, you know, regular, just plain old minifigure lines to have the bags. So for the last time here, let's open this up and see what we get. And it looks like we got a safari guy. That's kind of cool. Comes with like a koala with like a little vegetable to give to him. Let's see here. I'm guessing the koala can hold this too. That's pretty neat. Okay, this is the one I picked up here. So pretty neat. I think that's kind of cool. So we'll go ahead and put that in the collection as well. But I don't really buy a lot of the regular series ones. I kind of just buy one or two if I see them. I don't really have too much an interest on collecting all of those either. But yeah, because the new ones now are going to be in boxes, and I've been seeing so many posts recently of people just going into Walmarts and just opening boxes of minifigures and stealing them, which is really sad to see. I mean, it's really disappointing to see people doing that, and it'll probably result in like something changing with those, I guess. But regardless, it is what it is, right? So yeah, that's that. All right, some other stuff I got here. I did get some Lego for Christmas from my fiance. I did get a couple of poly bags, so I did pick up another Batman poly bag here, which is amazing. I'm really glad to get another one of these because um, I am keeping these ones sealed. I definitely foresee these ones going up in price. It's always nice to get these poly bags that have minifigures in them of licensed properties. I think last year, the year before, we got the Doctor Strange one, and this year we got this Batman one. So anytime I see some of these, I always try to pick them up for a decent sale, and I'm really glad I got one of these to keep sealed. So thank you, Monica, for that. This is probably one of my favorite poly bags of 2023, if I'm being honest. So there's that. This one too I thought was really nice. This one is also one that has a minifigure, and that's this one with Cho Chang at Quidditch practice. So kind of like a forced perspective type of look here. A little miniature Quidditch pitch, and then you have Cho Chang with her broom and then a snitch, which I think is pretty cool. So really nice to get these Harry Potter ones. I mean, I really like all the Harry Potter ones they've come out with. All of them have minifigures. It's really funny how like Star Wars is like the exception when it comes to poly bags. Like, I couldn't tell you the last time Lego had a poly bag for Star Wars that included a minifigure. I mean, it's been a while. Like, all of them are just mini builds of set of like vehicles or whatever. So it's whatever. This one I picked up when I was at Walmart because, don't tell Monica, but I kind of just wanted to grab one of these because they were on sale. And that is another one of the Ahsoka's Clone Trooper Battle Packs. So I did some rearranging in my closet recently. I moved all my sealed sets down to the bottom shelf over here, and I do need to transport them probably back to my parents' house. But yeah, I have a lot of these. Like, I think this might be my 5th sealed one. So I don't know if I want to crack these open or not. We'll see. But I'm definitely sitting on a good amount of money in that sealed collection now with these battle packs. So hopefully, if they even go on an even better sale, I'll definitely consider buying some more. But for right now, I'm just really glad to get them for a decent price. I'm not going to say a cheap price, but a decent price. This next set I got here was another one that I was kind of on the fence about. When it was initially released, I wasn't going to pay the price that they were selling it for because I thought it was too overpriced. But sure enough, I walked into a Lego store while I was up in New York, and I decided to buy this because there was nothing else that I was really interested in getting, and I figured